How did a black man come to inherit the fortune of a British aristocrat? This is a good story, so let's get into it. Before we get there, we have to go back to the beginning, lay some foundation for context, and trust me, it is well worth it. I want to provide a disclaimer. This includes graphic language as well as drug abuse. Pictured here is Colin Tennant, the third Baron Glenconner. You may know him or may not, but he is the man who bought the island of Mustique. And if you know your history, you know that Princess Margaret used to vacation there, and she also owned a villa there in which he gifted her the land. If you have watched The Crown, you may recognize this actress. She is who played Lady Anne Glenconner, the wife to Lord Glenconner in the Crown series. And she was the one who always met Margaret at the airport and pretty much took care of her. Lord and Lady Glenconner is also responsible for introducing Margaret to Roddy. This is the man which was the cherry on top of the cupcake as to why Princess Margaret and the Earl of Snowdon divorced, because photos were released of these two in their swimsuits on the island of Mustique. All right, here we go. So, these two individuals, Lord and Lady Glenconner. By the way, he passed away in 2010, and she is still living. They have 5 children, 3 boys, 2 girls. Their eldest child, Charles Tennant, was set to inherit the barony, the estates, as well as the money. Unfortunately, he was a longtime heroin addict, which resulted in a lot of problems. Thus, his father disinherited him in favor of the second son, and we'll get to him next. And due to his drug abuse, he ended up contracting hepatitis C, which contributed to his death at age 39 in 1996. Pictured here is Henry Tennant, who is the second son to Lord Glenconner, and his wife at the time, Tessa. Well, after he married and they had a son, he informed his wife he was gay. It was rumored that he left his wife for black actor Kelvin Omard, and within 3 years, he ultimately passed away of AIDS-related illness. Kelvin gave an interview following Henry's death, and he mentioned that they actually never got physical. They cared for one another a lot, but realized, all right, we're just going to be friends. I don't know if Kelvin is still alive or not. I did see an article where he gave an interview in 2020. I found him on Instagram, but of course his page is private. Maybe this is not him. I don't know. Henry passed away aged 29. The third son, Christopher Carey Tennant, also suffered a brain injury when he had a motorcycle accident. From my understanding, he is still alive, but this led to the speculation of a Glenconner curse. As I mentioned earlier, Lord Glenconner passed away in 2010. Pictured here is Kent Adonai, or Adonai, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, who was his valet, or personal attendant. Well, before his death, Lord Glenconner revised his will, leaving his entire £20 million fortune to the valet. Not a single penny was left to his children. In an article by the Daily Mail, and of course we can always count on them to use racial innuendo. Cursed inheritance of the £20 million manservant, illiterate fisherman who was left his master's entire fortune, is still living in poverty and locked in a legal battle as colorful as it is bizarre. During his tenure as a valet with the Glenconners, he was pretty spoiled. He was even purchased an $8,000 gold chain by the late Lord Glenconner. They traveled all over the world, to Bali, the continent of Africa, Canada, all around Europe. Everywhere they went, he went. Well, obviously, the family contested the will, as well as the new Baron of Glenconner, the 4th Baron, Cody. And after years of legal battles, the estate was divided down the middle between Cody as well as Kent. However, there's not enough money to fix up the property he inherited, so it's pretty much decayed. I haven't found any further information indicating how much he has left or how much he did actually get, but it is noted he still works as a fisherman. Take that what you will. And by the way, at age 82, he found out that he had a 45-year-old illegitimate son. I guess it paid off a little bit for him to be in servitude. Anywho, comment your thoughts below. Let me know what you think. Keep the comments very respectful considering everything that you heard. Please. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Mwah.